What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to Harry the Horse Barbecue. I'm Harry, and in this one, I am not horsing around with these Weber Kettle beef ribs. We are seasoning up these massive dino ribs in a Central Texas style, smoking them off on the trusty Weber Kettle till they build some amazing smoke flavor and that classic dark beef rib bark. And then we're gonna slice into the easiest smoked beef ribs that you've ever had. Looking for the easiest way to smoke up some beef ribs? The horse has got your back. Let's get it.
Harry the Horse Barbecue.
Looking to smoke up a rack of beef dino ribs, but you don't want to settle? Well, we're back at it again, breaking out the Weber Kettle. I'm like Dr. Seuss over here. We're going to be putting it to the test yet again and smoking up some amazing beef dino ribs. But how well is this vintage Weber Kettle going to do when it comes to the best bite in barbecue? So in order to make these smoked dino ribs, we gotta go shopping for some dino beef ribs. And let's go! Beef ribs! Now, beef dino ribs are super hard to find here in New York, but I can always find them from my guys at Marbled Meat Shop. But enough horsing around, let's get these beef ribs out of the pack. If you've been locked in on this channel for a while, you know that I've cooked up beef ribs from Marbled Meat Shop before, and they are never horsing around. They are just looking mighty fine. But like I say every time I cook beef ribs, this top muscle is a no-go for beef ribs. It's lean and it's just gonna slide off at the end of this cook. So we're gonna take that down. And I'm gonna break out my new favorite knife, which is this Dow Strong slicing and brisket knife. I debuted this in my How to Smoke a Brisket by Feel video, so go check that out. And link in the description below if you wanna check this knife out for yourself. We're just gonna make some gentle knife strokes to take off this muscle. You could smoke this up separately. It's a beautiful piece of meat. That's gonna go in my sausage pile. Now you can leave your beef ribs alone if you want to, but I am gonna leave a fat cap on these beef ribs. We're using the slow and sear today, and we know the slow and sear turns that Weber Kettle into a top-down cooker. So since all that heat is gonna be coming from the top down, if we leave a little bit of a fat cap, we know that that fat cap is gonna protect these beef ribs throughout the duration of the cook. So just do the best always, and figure out what your meat is telling you to do. And I'm pretty sure that's all she wrote for these beef ribs. Took down that fat cap quite a bit, but still a nice layer of fat on top. All this fat getting saved for sausage too. We're gonna season up these beef ribs in a super Central Texas style. Starts with mustard, not a lot. I would hate to see such a beautiful protein covered in so much mustard. And just because I have it on hand, Chud's Barbecue SPG. Not a ton on the back, just because we're not gonna eat this membrane. It's there to hold the ribs together and protect the meat during the cook. Flip her over again. Straight up yellow mustard, our SPG over the top, and I want these barked up, so I'm gonna go fairly heavy because the best part of the beef rib is that beautiful dark bark. And now for that extra little pop, my homemade seasoned salt that I've dubbed Seasoned Salt Lick. And this homemade seasoned salt recipe, of course, is not horsing around. You can roll your edges on the board. That's a beautiful seasoned rack of beef ribs. These bad beefy beauties are looking beautiful with that Central Texas style rub all over them. We know this combination of rubs is gonna give us this amazing dark bark, incredible saltiness, and flavor all the way through on these bad mamma jammas. But these beef ribs are all seasoned up and they're ready for the cooker. So let's go fire up the cooker. And just look at this beautiful vintage Weber Kettle. Check out how I set this beast up. Go goes a go-go. Snake nests. Gonna throw in this snow-covered piece of wood. That's all right. Now y'all can use any kind of wood you like. Wood chunks from the store work out really well. You could also just use a bandsaw and cut up some wood chunks from your wood pile. I don't have a bandsaw, but I do have some smaller chunks of wood that just happen to come with my wood deliveries. They work out really well for this Weber. But let's light her up. That snake nest should start the fire on this end of the coals and start to work its way this way, kind of like the snake method. That's gonna allow us to get long, sustainable, equal temperatures for the duration of the cook. Let's let these coals get hot. This wood is starting to catch fire, so we got no time to horse around. Let's go grab those beef ribs. Man, these are looking beautiful. Onto the rack we go. All right, our beef ribs are on, and they're sitting pretty close to the fire. Let's add some water to the reservoir. I am gonna start out this cook with a blocking log, just so I don't run the risk of burning up the beef ribs right here. But we're gonna let these beef ribs rock out, hopefully around 200 to 225 degrees Fahrenheit. Let them start to build a ton of smoke flavor to start, and then we can crank up temps to about 250 so we can start building some bark. So let's dome this up. We're gonna let these beef ribs smoke away for about 3 hours before we check in on them. I've got the top vent open about 1/3 of the way. The vent underneath the coals is cracked just a wee bit. The other 2 vents that are located on the bottom of the grill are completely closed. This is gonna promote airflow to come up under the coals and allow that smoke to roll over our beef ribs and out the vent. All that's left to do now is let these smoke away. Boom, shakalaka. All right, y'all, it's been about 3.5 hours on these beef ribs, and the Weber's been rocking right between 225 and 250 the entire time. Perfect temps, nice and smoky. Let's see what's going on underneath the hood. That's a pretty nice bark on these beef ribs so far. It's really cold out, so I could do this with my fingers without getting burnt. But you can see this part of the beef rib that had a lot of fat on it and that was closest to the wall of the Weber has rendered out quite a bit, getting some good pullback on the bones here. But this bigger side of the beef ribs leaves something to be desired. What I'm gonna do is rotate. We wanna cook these beef ribs as evenly as possible. And with the blocking log here, it's forcing the heat to go up and over the beef ribs. It's a little bit hotter back towards this wall, so that'll help even out the pullback. We can start to rearrange this fire just a wee bit, and while that's raging, I'm gonna throw another janky piece of wood from my wood pile right on the coals. And while we're out here, let's give these beef ribs a spritz with some apple cider vinegar, just on kind of the high risk areas. That would be towards the wall here, towards the fire, this back area. You know what they say, don't beat a dead horse. So let's close it down. You can see the smoke is rolling again. And at this point, we're looking to bump temps up to about 250 degrees. You guys got some rare footage of some dinosaur bones that we're cooking up. So hit that subscribe button and stick around to see how these dinos turn out. All right, y'all, we're about 7 hours into this beef rib cook, and it's a chilly night out here, but hopefully y'all can see we're still rocking around that 250 degree mark. So we're gonna stay between 250 and 275 degrees until we finish out these beef ribs. And look what's chilling behind me. Shout out to everyone who's been missing the blues in the videos. It is freezing out here, and that's no horse shit. So let's hurry up and take a look at these beef ribs. Here's this beautiful rack of beef ribs, and if you can see, it's getting pretty squishy on top. Still really firm towards the edges of these bones though. Great pullback. Let's rotate them once again. And I'm gonna remove the blocking log, but hopefully you guys can see the beautiful bark that we've built up, and you can see how yellow that fat is, which means we're getting some great fat render. Now all we need is a little more pullback at the front of these bones, and we should be good to pull these. I'm gonna use the Typher Instaprobe core to check the internal temps. 170s towards this end of the bone, and we're in the 160s towards this end of the bone. A couple more hours and hopefully we'll hit the time where we can wrap. I'll drop an affiliate link down below where you can pick up this Typher Instaprobe core. Makes it real easy to read temperatures in the dark. And we just got a domer. Super chilly winter nights are not gonna stop me from drinking blues. That's the stuff, y'all. So I'm done freezing out here. I'll meet y'all inside for the wrap. And 10 hours later, here's our beef ribs. And these are hitting just over the 200 mark, and they're feeling incredibly tender. Bark is really nice and crusty, but let's soften it up by wrapping this up in some foil. Now I did put these beef ribs in a little foil boat just to catch a little tallow that we're gonna put in this wrap. Nothing wrong with basting these with their own fat. And these beef ribs are gonna rest down on the counter for a couple hours. I'm gonna pop them into the oven for an overnight rest. So I'll meet y'all back in the AM. After a 12-hour rest, these beef ribs are ready to slice into, and I could not be more stoked. Time to glove up and let's unveil. Yeah, these are smelling smoky, looking pretty. Let's take these to the not horsing around level. Caught a little extra tallow in this tray. Oh yeah, that is the goods right there. Give that a pat in. You could see that resting down in that foil softened up this bark. Can y'all see just how squishy that is? I don't think I can wait any longer. About time we do this. That felt like butter on a stick, and it looks like butter on a stick. Holy moly, that looks great. Nice smoke ring around there. Look at that top portion. Look how squishy that is. But you gotta love it when a beef rib holds on for dear life. It can be easily kissed off the bone. Here's our little baby, squishy, rendered fat cap. And here's our center cut rib. Good Lord, squishing all the way around. I gotta sink my teeth into one of these. I've been waiting way too long for these. Just take a looky-loo. That grain structure looks beautiful, perfectly rendered fat cap, and it's jiggling. That literally looks like it came off of an offset smoker. Look how dark that bark is. Enough horsing around. As soon as you put your lips around it, you could just feel it squish. It's like a meaty marshmallow, y'all. This is crazy. I don't know what you want to say. Man, that Weber Kettle blows me away every single time. 2 bites in and I already have to stop myself because I'm gonna devour this whole thing and have the meat sweats and be in a meat coma for the next like 6 hours. But if those 2 bites don't sell you on this, let me break it down for y'all. That SPG and that homemade seasoned salt lick set the flavor on this so well, and it's salted all the way through, which is amazing. You've got nothing but dark, crispy yet soft caramelized bark and fat, and the smoke flavor on this is unbelievable. You get a little bit of that dirty smoke flavor, but it's just rich and beefy and smoky and fatty. This Weber Kettle beef rib is so good, I literally have to stop myself, but I just can't. Hold your horses. That Weber Kettle made some ridiculous beef ribs. No more bites for you, Mr. Horse. Relax. You could see the bark, you could see the fat render, you could see the moisture, you can see the tenderness. If you're not utilizing your Weber Kettle at home, especially to smoke some beef ribs, get out there and do it right now and stop horsing around. I'm feeling like I just ate a whole Brontosaurus. So I'm gonna go sleep this one off and dream of some dino lyrics. Here we go. Whoa, I'm feeling prehistoric in this dream. What does that even mean? Cool. Yeah. Okay, you can't smoke some beef ribs. I said, what the hell you talking about? Smoking on your Weber Kettle, yeah, that's what it's all about. If you told me this came off and off, said I would say no doubt. There's a smoky, juicy, tender, yeah, they'll make you scream and shout. I don't do this for the glory, you know I'm not chasing clout. I just want to barbecue with buddies, maybe drink a stout. Cook it around the fire, yeah, but you know we don't horse around. Hit the sub button, keep it climbing until we lose count. Thank y'all for tuning into Harry the Horse Barbecue. I really appreciate you checking out this video. Make sure you subscribe for the vibes, leave a like for these beef ribs, and drop a comment down below with your thoughts and what I should be cooking up next. You can follow me on Instagram at Harry the Horse Barbecue. Tag me so I can see what y'all are cooking because it really inspires me to get outside and cook. And with that being said, there's only one more thing, y'all. This one is going straight to the horse's mouth. We'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace. Sorry to all the dinosaurs out there.